Hello everyone, welcome to Benevolence, where kindness matters and all are welcome to the table. I'm your host, Ceci Diaz, and first I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, rating, subscribing, and spreading the word so far. Your support really means a lot to me, so keep tuning in because I know that you are going to leave empowered and blessed. You are tuning in to episode 6, and this one is called Girl Talk. For today's episode of Benevolence, we're going to talk about insecurities, body shaming, and women empowerment through friendships. And today I wanted to have this particular conversation with a special person in my life. She's one of the most charismatic, loving, and the most creative person I know. She is my go-to person when it comes to fashion, social media, marketing, and everything else in between. She has a true heart for young women and pushes me to be better every day. So without further ado, I have the one and the only Beverly Perez joining me at the table. Hey, girl.
Hi, Ceci.
It's so funny. We laugh every time at this part. Well, first, Bev, I would like to thank you for joining me on Benevolence. When I was in the planning moments of this podcast, I knew that I wanted to invite you to the table to have some girl talk.
Hi,
so you're welcome. So I'm excited for what we're going to be discussing today because I know that it's not only going to help us, but also other girls who are dealing with the same issues that we are. Yeah. So before we begin, go ahead and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Hi, gente. So my name is Beverly, if you don't know me. I am 23 years old. I am a medical assistant, but we're just going from glory to glory.
Yes.
So we're just trying to survive. But my heart is for young girls and truly, I feel like empowering other women because I feel like that's what we're there for. We're there to empower each other and not bring each other down. So this girl talk is so special to me because it's near and dear to my heart.
Yes. Well, thank you, Beverly,
Thank
for joining
you.
me. So let's get right to it because I don't want to ramble off or you know what I mean. Let's get to it because I know our listeners want to hear. Let's talk about insecurities because we all have them. And we all hide them really well.
We do.
We all wish we were a little thinner, we had curlier hair, we were a little curvier, or straighter hair. That's me. It seems that no matter what body type that we have or how we look, we always want to feel better and look better. And it's not a bad thing. But sometimes we become obsessed with being up to date with the latest trends and the looks, and we follow so many people on social media and think that is how we're supposed to look like. And it's a constant lie in our head that tells us that we're not enough or we're not good enough, so that we can be better by looking like those people on social media. And this is something that we as individuals need to fight with every single day. The struggle is real.
I feel like people see us because we're in leadership or because we sing in the front. They think that we're perfect, that we don't go through these things. But we all have our insecurities. We all have our moments where we're like, oh my gosh, I wish I was better at this, or I wish I was a little more like this. So I feel like no one is exempt from having an insecurity. So you're out there listening, no one is perfect. Everybody has their insecurities and we all go through them. And it's something that we have to fight day in and day out. Yeah.
And I like what you said about how people see us in leadership and stuff because we're part of our local church and stuff, and I'm in the worship team and so is Beverly, and then Beverly does other the arts ministry.
I mean, everything.
You're in the arts. Let's generalize that ministry, but yeah. So a lot of people, they see us and they think we're good, and we are, but there's so much that we're fighting internally
that we don't say out loud. Just because we're smiling and we're like, hi, how are you? It doesn't mean that, on the inside, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I was a little bit more like this person. Exactly. Or we go through it.
Yeah, we do. So, one thing that I wanted to talk about real quick was that we personally struggle with other people's successes. Yeah. So when we see a friend or an acquaintance advancing in their life, or we always automatically think that we did something wrong, or because I'm older, because since I am the older friend, I feel like I'm behind, and it's just a lie that we put upon ourselves, you know, that because people are advancing in their life that we're doing something wrong.
No, yeah, I know, I agree with you, because you say you're the oldest friend, but I'm the youngest friend.
True.
I'm the youngest person in the crew. So, like, most of my friends are married. Most of my friends are having kids or engaged. And I'm over here like, you know, I don't party. I go to work all day. So it does happen where we all think like, oh my gosh, like, am I not doing enough? But it goes back to, we all have our different timeline, and we all have our individual walk that we have to accomplish. So no one is late, or you're never early. Like, you're on the path.
Exactly.
And the path will take you where...
You know, I just noticed that you are the youngest.
I'm the youngest,
of the crew.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And by, like, more than 3 or 4 years, I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
You're
23.
Youngest. I'm 23.
And I'm 31.
Oh my God! Oh my God, Sissy! We're 8 years apart. I didn't think about it.
And we hang like nothing.
Like nothing. But like, I feel like I'm older. I feel like I have an older soul.
But I feel like you do have an older soul.
I feel older.
You really do. Like, I think that's why, like, our friendship works, because you have, like, an older, more mature soul. So it's like, you say that I'm the mother, but I feel like you're, like, the mother. So? You have, like, this motherly, like...
Don't do that. No hagas eso. Cálmate.
Yeah, you're always doing that. Like, ay, que bochorno, or, like, which true. Means I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
So she's always embarrassed from her friends, but...
That's true.
Yeah. But, okay. That was, like... That was a good thought, whatever.
Oh my God.
So let's come back. So let's talk about where these insecurities come from.
Okay.
So one major, like, place where insecurities come from are from failures and rejections. Yeah. So, like, do you recall a time where you have failed in something, or you were rejected, or that caused an insecurity, or an example of something that you've seen?
I feel like we've all had that moment where maybe with a certain group of people and something happened, and whether it was a joke that you didn't get or something that you didn't get invited to, that creates like a little thing in your heart. You're like, yes. Oh, like, why wasn't I invited? Like, am I not cool enough? Is it because, you know, I don't look like them? Is it because I don't behave like them? So I feel like it can easily start with something like not getting an invitation, invite. Yeah, to an event, or even like not getting a joke. Okay. Well, yeah, because not even like not getting a joke, like, I'm pretty like neutral. Like, I don't think about those kind of things. So it's happened, you know, in school when I was in high school, and they would say a joke, and I'm like, bruta la esquina, because I didn't get what they were saying. Yeah. I promise you.
Oh my God.
And I was like, is it me? But then you comprehend that. Yeah. You just, maybe it's not the right crowd for you.
I liked what you said about the invite.
Yeah.
Because even as old as I am, and like with me being married and a mother and all that, like, sometimes I feel some type of way that I wasn't invited to something.
Yeah.
Like, I can't help it, you know?
Yeah, because you're like, you get FOMO.
What's that?
Fear of missing out.
I've never heard that.
Sissy, that's a thing. I promise you that's a thing.
It's promise.
FOMO. That's why I say, oh, like, you have FOMO. You have fear of missing out. That's, like, you didn't get invited. Like, you're not there. You can't be in the moment. So it's FOMO.
Yeah. I learned something new today.
You didn't know that?
Never. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a thing. If I'm wrong, please correct us in the podcast.
No, but
it's right. FOMO, fear of missing out. And I feel like we all get that.
Yeah. I'm still like that. And this episode, we're just being real with y'all.
Yeah, guys.
Like, we're telling you all of our insecurities. Yeah. So, as old as I am, which I'm not that old, and as young as Beverly is, you know, these are two sides of the spectrum, and we deal with the same things.
I agree.
Isn't that crazy?
I know.
Like, we're in two totally different, like, mindsets in terms of, like, you know, I have a husband to take care of and a child, and you know what I mean? And then you're living your single life, which you need to listen to episode. I always do that. You gotta listen to episode 4. What is it? I forgot. It's with Nisha. God's plan. God's plan.
It always makes you want to sing.
I know. You sent me that, and I was like, that's the point.
And you're like, oh, I'm going. I'm like, yes, it was. It's the point.
No, but like, you know, you're living through your season of singleness and all of that, but you know, we still deal with the same things.
I agree.
So I do agree with that FOMO thing. That happens a lot. You know, so that's an example of failure and rejection.
Yeah.
Another one is comparison.
Girl,
that is
like everybody goes through comparison.
Oh Lord.
Like, it's okay. It can be as simple as going on Instagram and one of your favorite bloggers, like, she's posting this beautiful Instagram. She has the most beautiful caption, and you're like, oh my God. Like my example, I can go on Instagram and one of these gorgeous influencers, she has a perfect background, the perfect caption, the perfect outfit, her hair is like
the perfect filter.
The perfect filter. And I'm over here, like, guys, I wear scrubs and sneakers to work. Like, I look crazy in my day-to-day. So I'm comparing my day-to-day to their highlight or to something that's perfectly curated, and it's not real. It's not.
They're only showing us like
the best,
the highlight of their lives. And like a lot of these people like me, if you look at my Instagram feed, like, these pictures are mad old. Like, these pictures are the pictures that I post are from like 3 weeks ago, people. Like, it's not what I'm currently doing today. Like, I was literally in my pajamas on my bed posting a picture of Miami.
Really?
The Miami picture that I have on my...
It usually happens, like, whenever I post, and it's, like, this pretty picture, I'm, like, laughing, or, like, the sun is hitting me, and I'm usually in my bed, in my scrubs after work, because I do everything I do after work. So, after work, I'm laying in my bed, like, all crouched up, and, like, my chin is sticking out, and stuff, and that's where I'm posting my picture. So, these things aren't real.
They're not
these
real.
Perfect Instagrams, or these perfect YouTube videos, and these people spend hours editing. Or even, like, that's their job.
That's their job, yeah.
Their job is to look this perfect. And even with Victoria's Secret models, like, a lot of times when the fashion show comes around, we compare our bodies to them. But, like, this is their job. Their job is to eat a certain diet and work out for 3-4 hours a day. And for their skin to be, like, that is their job. That's not...
It's not like...
It's not like...
It's not like what they want to do.
No.
Like, that's their career.
That's
like, they kind of have to do it.
Yeah, and these people talk about it. They're like, look, this is, like, what I do as a job, but I'm not...
Yeah, like, this isn't me.
Yeah.
Because it's just not.
No. And I feel like hearing things like that from influencers or bloggers, I'm like, dang, okay, I don't...
Yeah, like, I read an article recently of a blogger, and she was literally saying... She was, like, apologizing to her followers because she was part of that, like, comparison, like, stigma, I guess. And she was like, I'm so sorry that you guys are feeling this type of way, and a lot of it has to do with my posts. And then she's like, but you don't understand how it takes me hours to, like, edit my video, edit my picture. The picture was from a week ago. And then my boyfriend's the one taking the picture. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, after I take that picture, I'm hot, stinky, sweaty. I'm not in the mood. Or...
Again, it's perfectly curated.
Yes.
It's basically, like, this dream. And that's why each picture is, like, perfect. It's a dream. It's curated perfectly. It's not real life.
Exactly. And, like... Going back to the successes, that has a lot to do with comparison too, because when you see people advancing, like having a kid or getting married or...
Heck, even like finishing school. Yeah. Yeah, because that's like something that I'm still trying to work on. And when graduation season comes, like, I'm not going to like, me da una tristeza, because I'm like, God, like, what did I do wrong? Was it, because of this happened, or why am I not there? So, yeah, I guess it goes...
It just goes, it does full circle. Comparison truly does. And the last point that we wanted to talk about in regards to where do insecurities come from, it develops in the things that we see or hear.
I agree.
So you had told me of an example.
Yeah, like when I was thinking about this specific thing, when it comes to like what we see or what we hear, it brought me back to Mean Girls. And in the part where Regina and her little crew, they go up to the mirror in Regina's room and they start pointing out these things that they hate about themselves. And Katie had never experienced anything like that.
She's Katie's Lindsay.
Katie's Lindsay Lohan, yeah. So one of the girls, she's like, my nail beds suck, and like she's talking about her forehead or her hairline, and Katie's like, my breath stinks in the morning. Like, Hello. It's something so funny in the movie, but when you think about it, she's never been exposed to body shaming or finding or picking out insecurities, things that are wrong, in quotations, with your body. So seeing that opens up a window to what is wrong with my body as you're seeing that.
Yeah. That's a very good example. Yeah. I personally, I don't, we'll talk about that later on, but when it comes to body shaming, I don't feel like not that others have body shamed me, body shaming within yourself.
Yeah.
We constantly body shame ourselves.
I agree.
And it's so sad because I get sad too when I catch myself doing it, because it doesn't feel good at all.
You're like, wow, how did I get here? Mm-hmm. That's what I think of. I'm like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Where did this come from? Because one moment you're happy, and then this thought pops into your head and you're like, okay, that's ruining my day.
Yeah.
Now I feel down. Now I don't feel pretty, or so on.
I have to constantly embrace how I look, because later on soon we're going to talk about it. But there are certain things that I don't like about my body, but every day I have to fight with myself. I have to fight with my mind, and just to embrace it, because at the moment I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not trying to lose weight or anything. So if I'm not doing anything to change it, might as well embrace it.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel when it comes to that.
With what you said, it brings me back to a quote from Maya Angelou. Mm-hmm. She said, the real difficulty is to overcome how you think about yourself. And I feel like we're our biggest critic. We're our biggest giant. Because I promise you, people on the outside are not paying attention to whatever your insecurity is, or they're not paying attention to, I don't know, how big your forehead is, or how curly your hair is. People are not paying attention. That's you. Yeah. You're your biggest critic. Exactly. And once you overcome that, there's so much freedom on the other side. And again, I'm preaching to the choir, because I feel like this is something that we daily have to do. We have to daily overcome that giant.
Yeah. We have to change our mindset. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One way that I wanted to talk about our insecurities is by making a list of 3 things.
I do.
The funny thing is that we started with 10 when we were planning this podcast.
Yeah, and then we're like, let's do 10.
We brought it down to 5.
And then we brought it down to 3.
We brought it down to 3. So we wanted to make a list of 3 things that we loved about ourselves and 3 things that we didn't love about ourselves, or that we were insecure about. Okay. And honestly, this was really hard for me because I literally only had one thing that I liked about myself. Okay. And I noticed that I had more things that I didn't love so much. Yeah. So I'll start.
Okay. And then I'll go.
I'll start with what I love about myself, because it's only one thing.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So the one thing that I enjoy about myself is that I'm honest.
I love that about you.
I'm very transparent. And it could be a good thing and a bad thing, because if I'm mad, you're going to tell, you can tell that I'm upset. So that can make people uncomfortable. And a lot of the time my transparency comes off as rude, but it really is not.
Yeah, it doesn't come from a rude place.
It really doesn't, because I remember, this is I don't even want to mention it, but whatever. I guess I was passing by some people, and I was just going through a hard time. Okay. And I guess because I didn't say hi to them in the warm, welcoming way, I felt like they thought I was being rude to them, or I chose to be like that. But honestly, I was just coming from a dark place internally. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's an example of how my transparency physically and my face kind of says it all. Okay. It could probably come out as rude, but really, I truly like that I'm honest. And I think because of my past experiences, that's why I'm honest. I kind of tell you how it is, and I'm not afraid to be real with you. Yeah. And that's one thing that I know, that in the circle of friends that we have, I know that people, we
come to you for that honesty. Because if we're going through something, like, sissy, be honest, how did it look, or how did it sound, or how did I come off? So I know that I can come to you with be honest.
Yeah. And that's
I always say, I'm be honest.
I know. And Beverly, like, literally, that's, like, the only thing that I like about myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll say what I like about myself.
Okay, go.
So, something that I appreciate about myself is my personality. Mm-hmm. Because I wasn't like this.
Okay.
I was so shy. And I would chonar for everything. Mm-hmm. And I
Which is embarrassed.
Embarrassed, yes, sorry. And I feel like this changed in 8th grade.
Okay.
After some acting classes I took. How dramatic of me. I took acting classes.
That's hilarious.
So, and it was for just a summer. But that summer transformed me. And it made me a little, friendlier or a little more open to meeting new people. And I feel... that's something that I appreciate because I know what it's like to be on the other side and mm-hmm. be so shy and not want to talk to people. So I try and be as welcoming or as warm as I can. Mm-hmm. That's why I always try and say hi to everybody.
I don't want to go off of what you're saying, but I completely agree. Like, because later on we're going to talk about 3 things that we love about each mm-hmm. other. And that's one of the things.
Yeah.
So, because it's like, it's true. Like, you have a welcoming spirit. Like, you're very open to everyone, and when you leave the room, like, everyone feels like a little, like, pep in their step, like, because
appreciate that.
Yeah, you're
I
great.
Cry.
Stop it. Okay, so is there anything else that you love about yourself?
It's hard to come up with things that you love about yourself.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah. I think let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's move on to our insecurities. So mm-hmm. I have 3.
Okay, and I have 3.
Okay, so let's just bounce off each other. So go first.
Okay, so something that I'm really insecure about, I don't talk about it, it's my weight. And pero listen why. Because
I'm literally nodding, like,
she's
shaking.
Like saying no.
Shaking my head here.
Okay, I've been insecure. I've struggled with my weight for years. Okay. Since you become una señorita, a little mm-hmm. lady, if you don't know what that means. I've struggled with my weight. And it's something that I've always... it's like I'll lose a couple pounds, I'll gain a little. So I'm always in between 20 pounds. I constantly lose and gain. Okay. So that's something that it's one of my insecurities, and it's something that I don't share. Okay. Like, I don't share. This is the first time that I'm sharing this.
Yeah. It's, as your friend, I'm really shocked.
Because I don't open up. I don't talk about these things.
You don't.
I don't. But something that I've struggled with for years is my weight.
But why? Because you're fine. Like, you're
you say
skinny and thin.
You say that, but I would love to see myself, like, stronger or more, like, defined, fit, like, I wish I had abs. But, like, this is something that I don't share, and I know it's something that I can improve on, mm-hmm. but I feel like that thought of, like, you're never gonna get there, or, I think maybe I'm gonna cry. The fact of, like, people saying, like, oh, like, you're so, like, oh, like, you have hips. Oh, my God. Like, you have, like, I've had people tell me, I'll just say it. Okay. Mm-hmm. When we did Nightmare on Oak Ridge, mm-hmm. you said it was, like, what, like 6 years ago? Yeah. Like, 6 years ago. And I was, like, the scary face mm-hmm. in the front. We recorded the video, and when that video played after, somebody came up to me and said, oh, I thought you were this other person because... your hips were so wide in that angle, and I had never thought of my hips as wide until that moment. And it's crazy.
It's crazy.
And I had never thought about myself that way. I knew that I wasn't, like, the skinniest or the mm-hmm. fittest, but I had never had that insecurity. So I feel like what people say can trigger certain insecurities within you. Yeah.
And it's sad because, like,
this was a friend.
A friend.
This was a quote unquote friend mm-hmm. that said that.
I don't know what to say. Because like, if you haven't checked out my pictures already, I am a plus size gal. Like, I'm big girl. Like, I got the curves and all of that good stuff. So, like, for me, I can't understand that. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to understand that because in my eyes, I feel like you have, like, the perfect body. But that's the thing. I
don't feel like it. Yeah,
exactly. But that's the thing with insecurities. That's the real thing. Because I'm looking at you and I'm like, what the heck are you saying? Because I'm here struggling, and I obviously have, like, some issues. But, like, I look at you and I'm like, but how can you how can you feel that way about yourself? So it's
but
just...
then again, I feel like it goes back to us not accepting or understanding that our bodies changed.
Yeah.
Like, I turned 23. Cecilia, I promise you, my body changed. Like, my body shape has changed, and where, you know, like, the weight goes, it's changed. It changed when I turned 15, and it changed again when I turned 18, and
well,
then
wait till you get married. It's gonna change again.
But that's something...
I'm being real.
I know. But I feel like that's something that we don't allow ourselves to welcome or to accept the fact that we're not, like, I'm not the same person I was when I was 10.
Exactly.
So just as I change, like, my body is going to change as well.
Yeah, because I feel the same way with my body. Like I said, I never really had, like, a real insecurity with my body per se. Like, I wasn't bullied or I wasn't put down, you know? But internally, I felt, if you don't know me, I am blessed with a large behind. So I remember a moment in my early teenage years where I was insecure because, instead of my hips going, so sideways, it was like coming out. It was sticking out, and it just wouldn't stop. Because it's hilarious.
Coming out.
I have a huge butt. So the thing is that there was a moment in my early teens where I would wear a dress or I'd wear a cute outfit and I'll literally put on a Nike jacket around my waist. I was so insecure about my butt. And then I'm like, it got to the point where I was wearing jackets in the mid-hot summer. And this is when I lived in Miami.
Oh my God, and that is
so
it
was
humid.
Like 100 degrees outside and I'm wearing a jacket. Even my parents, like, they can testify, they can tell you that they would tell me, why are you wearing a jacket? But there was like a reason, like I wanted to cover my butt so bad because I thought it was just too big. And then when I got to high school, and this is middle school, I was feeling this way.
Yeah.
High school, I lost some weight, like in my freshman year. And then I started to see, like, oh my God, I have these curves. Like, wow. Like, they're coming out. So, and I wasn't that big. I was like, maybe a size 12, 13, what people consider, like, curvy nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, the average size is a 16 right now. But I was, like, I was younger than that.
Yeah.
I was less than that. I was, like, a size 13. And during, like, the 2000s, the early 2000s, being a size 13 was, like frowned upon. But that was during a time where times were changing because like curves were coming in and like people were liking big butts and all of that. So I felt better about myself and I overcame that insecurity of having a big butt. So I think I've always been good until now because right now I'm at my biggest, and one thing that I don't like about my body is that, after I had Victoria, I have, like, the mom pudge, and as a mom, like a lot of moms, they embrace it, because that's, like, for them, that's, like, a sign of motherhood and empowerment.
You're, like, rolling your eyes.
I'm rolling my...
You're like...
I know, I'm rolling my eyes because I do follow some mothers out there who believe that, like, the roles and all of this is like it empowers women, and it's true. But I really genuinely hate my woman, like my mother pouch, because it doesn't go away. I can lose weight and it'll still be there unless I do excessive like weightlifting and all that extra stuff. But that's something that I'm dealing with. Another thing is, just because I am of a more curvier size, and I'm being real, I don't care if you're a man listening to my podcast, but like my breasts aren't as large. Like I'm not the common breast size of a thick girl.
It's that hourglass Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I do not have an hourglass shape. I have more of a pear because I'm very small at the top. My breasts are very small, and then, gradually I get bigger in the bottom. But it's hard to, like, find clothes and things like that because now the curvy woman has breast and a butt and hips.
Yeah.
But I only have the hips and the butt. So a lot of these clothes don't fit me right. It's just an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
And then the last thing with how I look is my face. I know probably people are like, Ceci, you're freaking crazy because you're beautiful, and like, but like, okay, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Like, all of my friends are beautiful. All of my friends. I know, and you guys are gonna hit me. But like, sometimes like I'm in a group photo with all my pretty friends because they're really pretty, and I'm like the average Joe. Like, sometimes, like, Beverly, I'm not gonna lie.
En serio?
Like, I don't want to cry, but like sometimes I feel like I'm the average Joe. Like, I'm just like the common friend. I'm the common denominator.
No, that's
like,
no. It's the duff.
The duff. That's what it's called.
Not the duff.
I know. But
okay,
you see
and this is
how
something that I was gonna say. I told you earlier that I love your smile, and I love that when you smile, like, your cheeks get red and they like come out. I think it's the most beautiful thing. But we'll talk about that later.
yeah, we'll talk about that later. But like, those are the three things about my body.
No, you're not average.
I know.
You're not average, sissy. You're beautiful.
I know. But I feel that way. Like, when I do, like, there, you know that picture that when we went to the next grand opening? Remember,
oh my
in
God,
Millennium
my hair
Mall?
was long.
Your hair was long.
My hair was super long.
Tiffany had just come back from Missouri, or from California, so she was like glam, but she's always glowing, but she was just like glowing extra. And then like Nisha and like Pamela, like my whole little crew were there, and like we took that picture by the next sign, and like I literally look at that picture every now and then. I'm like, I look like a sore thumb on that picture.
Don't.
Like, I feel like all of my friends are pretty, like, they're gorgeous, and then I'm just like, I literally feel like I'm the duff.
Nina, you're not.
I know, and I know my listeners are probably like, Ceci, what's wrong with you? But
that's overcoming your giant.
Yes,
you're your biggest giant, Ceci. You're not the duff.
I know.
No, de veras, fuera de relajo, you're beautiful, Ceci.
Thank you.
And I know you're looking at me because you don't believe me. Because you don't
it's hard because I'm being real. I have to change my mindset.
You have to change your mindset.
You know,
Ceci, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
De veras. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
And you know that when I tell you, I don't tell you just to tell
No,
you.
I know.
Like, I tell you because I genuinely think that you're beautiful, Sissy.
Thank you. Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. Guys, we're truly having a girl talk here, so I hope you're enjoying this conversation. But go ahead. What's your second insecurity?
So my second insecurity, and it goes back to like me being on YouTube or Instagram. I feel like I shouldn't be doing YouTube or Instagram. And I know that you're like looking at me, but I feel, and Kimberly's like gonna hit me after this comes out, but I don't feel like I'm good enough for that.
But you know that you are.
But I don't think I am.
I tell you this all the time. Like, for those of you that don't know Beverly, you need to follow her on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel, and she deals with style and makeup and spirituality and all that stuff. And like, it's beautiful. And she uses affordable cosmetics, which is,
guys, we ain't got money for that.
We ain't got money like that. We're not being sponsored or anything like that.
Not yet.
So you know, she's really good at what she does, and I feel like you underestimate yourself.
I don't know. Again, we're our biggest giants, but I don't. And again, this goes back to comparison, and you see like other people that are doing it and that are on YouTube or are on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Like, she's getting all these likes and all these views, and I go to my channel and I work so hard, and I think it's overcoming that thing. Like, you need to stick it out in order to see any results. But I feel like I put all this, and I promise you, I'm being so like transparente right now. I put all this work, and like Kimberly bust her butt, like recording and helping me, and no one's seeing it.
But I feel the same way.
I know.
Because that's the thing. Like,
and I try to get into the mindset where I'm like, as long as I touched one life, or as long as I help somebody. But it's hard. It's hard. Because you look at the numbers and you're like, dang, like I'm going through all of this.
But we can't look at the numbers.
But we can't.
We cannot look at the numbers, Beverly. Because then we're doing it in vain. Because we're not doing
it for the right reasons.
Exactly. We're not doing it for the right reasons. Like, we want to reach out to those. We want to inspire others creatively, spiritually, emotionally, the whole shebang. And we're not thinking about that one person who's actually listening, who's actually tuning in, who needs to hear this stuff. Yeah. And we're not thinking about that, you know? So I always encourage you, because you're bold enough to like even do a video. Like, guys, like, I'm not gonna lie. A couple weeks back, I was feeling some type of way as well with Benevolence, because it's hard. Like, this is my first time doing something and big and kind of putting myself out there, you know, and I felt like I wasn't reaching enough people. I felt like I'm doing all of this work and nothing, you know, and there are no listeners, or, you know, I follow a lot of podcasters and they have thousands and thousands of listeners and subscribers, and I'm like here, like with a few, and I'm like, man, I can't think that way. Like I can't, you know, and we can't think that way.
We just need to overcome that.
And we really do. And then I felt like with what I was doing was advancing other people and not myself. And I was feeling like very down in the dumps because I'm like, Mom, I'm doing this for me, for other people. And I feel like other people are advancing through me, you know, and I was feeling very insecure. I was feeling very down in the dumps, you know, and I felt like it wasn't fair. And I was like crying out to God. I'm like, God, like, how could you allow this to happen? Like, you know my heart, like, you know my dreams, and like people are just advancing away, you know, gaining opportunities of a lifetime, and I'm here still, you know, like just doing the best that I can and trying to like get through week by week.
But acuérdate what I told you, and it's something that I was telling Ceci earlier, like whatever that person does or whatever happens, like Ceci's a part of that. You're a part of that, Ceci, because in God's eyes, like you were a vessel, and that's something that it's something that we always strive for. Like, Lord, let me be a vessel. Let me be an instrument. Allow me to be that bridge. So you were that bridge that God used. In God's eyes, you're just as important. Amen. You were just as essential. De vera.
I know.
You're just as essential to whatever is happening.
Exactly. So thank you.
Of course.
But going back to you, like, I want you to continue on with your vlogging and your YouTubing and the makeup and the style,
that's
because
why I've taken like a huge like pause. Yeah, I've been trying, you know, like grow creatively or get re-inspired, but it's that fear of what if I keep doing this and nothing happens. But then again, there's somebody out there, and I don't know who, you know, is being impacted or is learning, even if they're learning like a simple little makeup trick, like that's what I want. I just want to empower the person on the other side of the screen.
And I think you are equipped to do it. So please push forward, because like we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in what God has instilled in our hearts. Like if God has placed that in your heart, you gotta do it. And the same thing with Benevolence. Like God really placed it in my heart. I've been wanting to do something for 2 years, and I didn't know what it was. And then all of a sudden.
Yes, it's been 2 years.
I know, it has.
Oh my God, yeah.
For 2 years, I've been wanting to do something with Benevolence.
With this specific name.
Yes, with this specific name. I just didn't know what it was. And then finally, you know, through an inspiration of a person that... Later. Yeah. Like, through an inspiration of just a random... Like, he's not a random person, but he's my friend. He randomly just said something, and I was like, wait a second.
Remember then I told you about it? And you were like, oh my God.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like... God has a reason as to why I'm doing this. I believe so. And it's not about me. It's about whoever's listening out there to be, like I said, I always say the same thing, empowered and blessed. Yeah, I just want to bless others. So
I agree. I mean, that's good.
Let's do it.
That's good.
Okay.
And then just a final one, and I feel like what I said earlier, like kind of like trickles into this one. I feel like in leadership or in life or in, you know, in school, at work, and even in my personal life, I feel like I'm not enough, or like what I'm doing is not enough. And this is something that I've struggled with for years, and it's something that I am overcoming, because I'm declaring it. I am overcoming it, and it's something that I'm growing out of or overcoming every single day. Yeah. Because like I know that like God has given me the tools, and I know that if I'm called, like God is gonna equip me. I don't have to worry about being equipped beforehand. Exactly. So Ceci, do not worry about being equipped beforehand. Like God is gonna take care of like doing his thing. Like he's gonna
do his thing.
He's gonna do his thing. So that's like my biggest one, but it's the one where I'm seeing God work the most. Yeah. Day in and day out. Because I promise you, in everything that's happening in my life, I'm like, Señor, like, what the heck, me? Like, I'm the least qualified person. And every single time I hear just, like, God's whisper say, I'm equipping you.
That's
like,
awesome.
why are you worrying about, you know, what people are going to say, or if you have the studies, or if you're even capable of doing, like, I'm equipping you. I'm the one that's put you here, so I'm going to take care of it.
Exactly. Absolutely. Like, I feel that same way in terms of, like, the worship ministry. Yeah. Like, a lot of if you're a listener, I'm part of our local church, and I sing. My husband is one of the worship leaders of our church, so every time he worships, I worship behind him. You know, I'm like a BGV, background vocal, and I am a soprano, so, you know, I project. I don't know, this was a gift that God gave me, and, like, my last insecurity is I'm not too fond of my voice. And I know this is gonna shock the world, because, like, excuse me, I am not fond of my voice.
But what is it that you don't like?
I find it too strong, because
that's crazy.
I know, because,
but again, it's crazy for me, but to you, like, that's your reality.
But that's my reality. I find it too strong. Like, I project, and everybody's like, oh, girl, you got a head voice. Like, oh, my God, you're so good. But I'm like, and then I hear other people saying comments like, oh, she can do this by herself. She doesn't need a second soprano. Like, no, I need a second soprano, people. Like, I know it sounds petty, guys, but I really have an issue with my voice. And then, like, with my worship style, like, I feel like, I know this is hilarious, but I always, she's laughing because
this is something that I go through every single time.
My worship style, like,
you're just more like,
I'm a mellow,
like, you're in the moment.
I'm in the moment, and, like, when my husband,
you and God, like,
yes, it's just me and him, and, like, when my husband's doing his riffs and
free worship,
and then I have you know, my other friends who are worshipers as well, they're doing all of these cool things, and I'm here literally like,
thank
Lord,
you, Jesus.
We praise your name. Like, I can't riff and run.
That's me. I'm always like, mi alma te alaba. Like, you're so wonderful. Like, God, no one compares to you. But I can't go up there and be like, I'm not even going to try. Like, I try and, like, sing a new song. No, I can't sing a new song.
When people say, yes. That is so true. Yeah. When preachers say, or worship leaders say, let's sing a new song. I don't want to. Like,
and then just a heads up, guys. Like, it's not that we don't want to worship. It's just not who we are.
It's not our style.
I'm more of a quiet worshiper. I will sing, but when it comes to my time with God, it's just me and God.
When I sing a new song, it's like what you said. I will speak a new song, because that's what I do best. That's why I have Benevolence, because I can speak. I'd rather speak than sing it out. But it's an insecurity, because I feel like, wow, look at all these people around me, and like the presence of God like comes down and overflows, and I'm like, and I'm here in the shadows. Like, you remember that day that I cried, and I was like so sad. Yeah. And I was like, Anthony, and that's my husband, and Nisha, my best friend from episode 4. Episode 4. Like, they're really good guys. So you gotta check them out. Like, I always feel like I'm like in their shadow. Like, I'm never in the forefront, you know? And God has given me a gift.
What about when I sing with you guys?
Oh my God,
whenever I sing with them, like, Ceci has the most, like, Ceci, you have the most beautiful, like, Disney. You should be a Disney princess.
But I don't believe it. I feel like
you could voice a Disney princess. Like, you have this, like, Broadway, just, like, beautiful, like, wholesome voice. And I'm up here singing with these people. I'm more like singing the melody. I'm like trying to keep the beat, you know? Everybody's like harmonizing and doing their thing, and I'm trying to just stay afloat.
No, but you're
I think
good.
You have the most. No, I think you have the
and
most
I
beautiful
think that
voice.
You have the most beautiful voice too. No. I heard you yesterday at church, and you were doing your little verse, and I was like, look at this girl. She's so cute. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Sissy, you know the first time that I ever saw you, and I was thinking about this the other day. You were singing Mary Did You Know?
Oh my God.
It was a Christmas cantata. I was still participating in Christmas cantatas with the kids. I was a teenager, but I was helping out. And Ceci sang the most beautiful version of Mary Did You Know? And she was like up to the heavens.
I was an angel.
You know,
wasn't I?
I don't remember.
That's the same thing that Anthony said
really?
when he first.
That's when I first like, and then they were like, "Yeah, esa es la hija de Pastor Ruben." I was like, "Wow, like her voice, she's amazing."
No, but even then, I was.
But that's crazy because to you, that's like something that you need to work on.
That's what I'm saying.
But to me, it was the most beautiful song ever.
And people don't understand that I struggle.
Even the one where you sang with Alexis.
Oh yeah.
That opera song. What the heck?
Yeah, but
you were amazing.
I think
and it was
I could have done better.
Really?
Yes. But you see, these are just. We're just being real with y'all. Yeah. We're just telling you our insecurities and being real. I know, because this is what it is. This is girl talk. So, you know, this is what we're dealing with. This is the reality. But we have to change our mindset. We have to believe in the talents that God has given us. If God has given us a talent, if God has given us a creative project in our heart, like for instance, we sing. So we have a talent. We have to use it for the glory of God. If God has given you the YouTube channel, you have to do it for the glory of God.
And you know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of like when I get to heaven and God is going to say, I gave you this. And that's something I feel like...
It's like the talent thing.
That's what's kept me kind of going. When I get to heaven and God says, I gave you this, what did you do with it? I don't want him to say, I gave you this and you didn't do anything.
Exactly.
That would be my biggest regret.
Yeah.
Him saying, I gave you this dream or I gave you this passion and you didn't do anything.
I feel you. Yeah. I totally feel you. Real quick, before we wrap it up real quick, we want to talk about 3 things to overcome your insecurity.
I'm going to talk about the 3 things that we loved about each other.
Oh my God,
Let's
that's
do
right.
it quickly. Okay.
So
I'll say mine. So I'll say mine to you very quickly. I love that you're so nurturing.
Okay.
You say that I feel like you're the mom of the group. Even how you hug us, it's very motherly. And I love that about you. I promise you. Like I said, your smile, and I love the way that you smile, Ceci. You always cover it up. Don't cover it up.
I always put my mouth, my hands in front of my mouth.
You cover it.
Yeah.
Like when I do when I'm eating.
Yeah.
You do that when you smile. I feel like you have the most beautiful smile, and you have a contagious like energy.
Okay.
Like when you're happy, it's contagious, and I love that about you. And your creativity. You're very creative.
And that's crazy because I feel
because you don't think like you're creative.
I don't
but
think
I feel
that
like
way.
You're so creative. But you're not creative in the way that I am. You're creative in your own unique way. And when you say something to me, I'm like, wow, I didn't like, think about it.
Think about it that way. Mm-hmm.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, I feel the same way. 3 things that I love about you is that you're a great listener. Like you are, Beverly, like for real. Like I'm the type of gal that I need affirmation. If I'm telling you a story or if I'm talking to you about different things, I need you to say,
Yeah.
I need like eye contact.
Yeah.
I need attention. And like you give that to me. Like I feel like I'm being listened to. Like when I talk to you. So you're a great listener. So guys, Beverly is the girl to go to. If you want a very good listener, she's very, very good at it. And she doesn't have to say anything. Or she could, because she always has like a good word of encouragement. Yeah. But she doesn't interrupt you. She lets you speak. And then she'll encourage you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're the greatest.
I feel like I'm not a good listener.
You
something
really
that I
are.
try and improve on.
No, you're really good at it. So thank you. Thank you.
I love you
too. Your friendliness to others, or I always call her Miss Congeniality, because literally when she'll walk into the room and she'll say hi to every single person, and you'll even remember something of that person. So you'll be like, hey John, how's your mom? I heard she was sick. Like you remember things and you make people feel important. You make people feel like you thought about them. Like, and that's really cool because I'm not like that. Like, I'm very observant. I'm so observant. Like,
you're very observant.
I'll walk into the room and I'll be like, God bless you. Or I'll be like, hi. But I won't, like, go up to you. And I won't, it takes me a while to open up to someone. You know? Because I guess in my past experience, I've been really hurt by a lot of people. So it's like, you know, I'm just very careful with who I open myself up to. And you have this spirit, like, you walk into the room and you light up the room and you know everything about everyone and you make people feel important. And that's really good.
Gloria a Dios, because that's it.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that. And then the last thing, you say that I'm creative, but I feel that you're creative. And I agree. You're creative in your own way, and I'm creative in my own way. But I feel like what I need, you fulfill. So, like, that sounds really cool, right?
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, because we're creative in our own ways, but you cover what I'm not creative in, and like vice versa. Yeah. So I always come to you with like the marketing or like the trending and stuff like that. Like I call you my marketer because I'm not really good at that stuff. But
I call her my public relations. Yes. Kimberly's my manager. Yes. And then Ceci's my public relations.
Yeah, and you're like my marketer. you help me with like what's coming up, you know? So. Because I'm not up to the trends like that. Like, I just try not to. I don't know. I'm not like that. So, you really help me with certain things, and you're just very creative. So, you cover what I'm not. So, that's what I love about you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's talk about overcoming insecurities. So, Beverly, what do you think about social media detox?
So, I think it's really important to either put down your phone, delete the app, or even just unfollow those certain people where whenever you come across their page, you begin to feel insecure or you begin to doubt yourself. It's important to let go of those things because it's unhealthy.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not a bad thing to take some time off from social media. I see a lot of people that do it every now and then. They'll say, hey, I'm logging out for a week. Mm-hmm. If you need me, like, reach me through text. Mm-hmm. I think that's important at times.
I think that's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy. Mm-hmm. It's not bad to unfollow these certain people because you're just looking out for yourself. You're just making sure that you're okay.
Exactly. I've done that. Like, I remember I was, like, following 700 people. And, like, I, like, unfollowed 200 people. And, like, I felt that I unfollowed the people that I would compare myself to. Yeah. So I was like, no, we got to get these people out because they're ruining my life.
You down.
Yeah, like I would have a great day and then I take 5 minutes to be on social media and boom, like I'm down in the dumps just because I'm looking at social media and comparing. So I definitely agree, you know. And one thing is like insecurities don't have an age. Like I'm 31 and I could be comparing myself to a 21-year-old or somebody who's way younger than I am, and it doesn't have an age. No,
everybody, that's why I was saying earlier, everybody has their insecurity. Just because I'm 23 and you're 31, there's somebody in their 40s, there's somebody in their 50s that is still having their insecurities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's something that that's why day to day we have to overcome it.
Exactly. The second thing is empowerment through friendships. I believe that surrounding yourself with like-minded people who encourage you to be the best that you can be, staying away from people who make you feel down. I always say this. When I leave my girlfriends after a night out, if I feel happy and empowered, I know that they are true friends. But if I leave them feeling insecure or exhausted from being fake or from having to stretch myself in so many ways, or I should have said this or I should have said that, if I'm like thinking about things I could have done or said to make myself feel more a part of the group, then they're definitely not the right people that you need to surround yourself with.
I agree.
You need to be surrounded by people who accept you for who you are
and
empower you and push you forward, you know?
I think as a friend, you should never highlight your friend's insecurity. On the contrary, like put those insecurities to sleep. Remind them of how beautiful they are and just how special they are to you. I think that's so key in friendships and truly lifting up your friends.
Yeah,
I think that's so important.
I completely agree. And then the last thing would be changing your mindset and exercising your beliefs. So, you know, it sounds cliche, but we need to believe in what God says about us. We need to believe that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. The way that we are made, that's the way that He wants us to be. Yeah. And, you know, we need to embrace that, you know, believing that He has a plan and a purpose for our lives, you know, not comparing our life to other people's successes and all of that. And then finally, like, believing that you are called, like, for such a time as this, like Beverly, you're called for such a time as this. You have, God has placed in your heart to do this YouTube channel. So this is your moment. This is your time. And like for Benevolence as well, like this is the moment that God has given me. This is the opportunity. So I need to embrace it and go forward with it because this is to give God the glory,
Amen.
not for the likes and the followers. So,
and I think that even with changing our mindset is changing our mindset on comparison. Like, we can't try and be like somebody else, because when we do that, we restrain ourselves from truly living out our potential, our God-given potential.
Absolutely.
Like, there's a purpose that God has out there for you, and if you try and compete with this other person, you're not fulfilling that purpose that He gave you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that's so important. When we begin to walk in His God-given purpose, like, we'll see mountains move, we'll see things change. And I think it's all about walking in your own God-given purpose.
Amen.
I agree.
Well, Beverly, that was a great
Thank
girl
you, Sissy.
talk. So I'm so happy because I think we got a lot on the table.
We did.
And I think that our listeners can really just appreciate how genuine we were in this episode. So if you're out there and you're dealing with any type of insecurity, just remember that you are not alone.
Not alone.
We also have our insecurities. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how successful you are in life, or how you're trying to be successful. Everyone has their own insecurities. So, Beverly, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you, Cecilia,
for joining me at the table today. I appreciate your friendship, and I'm so excited for what God has done in your life and what He is going to continue to do in your life. So make sure to follow Beverly on Instagram or YouTube. She doesn't have like a special Instagram name or anything like that. So just type in Beverly Perez Vega.
You'll find me.
And you will find her. Go ahead and follow her on YouTube and subscribe. And she already has some videos out on style and makeup. And I know that you're truly, truly going to be blessed by her YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it. So thank you all for tuning into Benevolence. Yes, where kindness matters and all are welcome to the table. Please continue to spread the word and subscribe. And if there is a topic that you would like for me to cover in the future, please do not hesitate to message me on Instagram or Facebook with your requests. And stay tuned for a very special guest that will be joining me at the table for next Monday's episode 7. Bye.
Bye.